Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and this is going to be a brief little review for Btooom, episode 10. Really awesome episode. We're pretty much picking up right where we left off with that epic cliffhanger from the last episode, where essentially Oda Nobutaka has left a booby trap for Ryota on the beach during their confrontation. And as this is unfolding, we basically see that Tyrannos Japan is watching every last step for every one of the players. And I think this guy, the hat-wearing guy whose name escapes me, he's just basically getting off on everything that's going on. It's almost as if he's running a wager within himself as far as who's going to be the ultimate success or the ultimate winner of this battle. But as we see, of course, Ryota gets one up on Oda because he doesn't fall for it. He doesn't fall for that trap. He basically uses the fact that Oda can only see him from a certain aspect point of view and wouldn't know that he wasn't anywhere near the packs. So essentially you have Ryota escaping. He runs just as Oda turns around and tosses another bomb his way. And soon to follow on the heels of this is Oda calling out to him, Ryota. He's calling him by name. And this is kind of insane because then, of course, we follow up on this flashback memory of Sakamoto's that he knew this cat in school. They were actually really good friends. And yet, there was something keeping them distanced in a way because Oda was this very uber popular cat. He was successful at everything he put his mind to, and all the guys wanted to be him, all the girls wanted to date him and that kind of stuff. And so, of course, as happens between friends, a girl got in the middle of the situation. Ryota had his eyes on this girl, sort of a plain Jane as Oda describes her, but essentially somebody that Ryota fancied. And Oda, not to be outdone, decided to get in between them and make the move first because he saw his friend, basically not taking up the slack as he saw it. And so he got with this girl, and this is something I can highly relate to as a former friend of mine did the very same thing to me, so you can understand where Ryota's coming from as far as that rooftop meeting where he finds out Oda got with this girl and he just pummels the hell out of him. I could completely understand it, even if I was a little bit like, Ryota, get yourself in check. You got to hold it back a little bit there. But we really see Sakamoto taking this to heart because that's the question. This kid used to be a friend of his. Is he going to treat him like an enemy, or are they going to team up together? That is a big question I have as a viewer, because we're seeing people who are unlikely allies coming together, and then we're seeing people who are very much a threat, like this Dr. Date, who has now integrated himself into the group, but every step of the way, he's looking for a way out. He's looking for a way to manipulate things and take them out one by one, as we see later in the episode, of course, when we have Ryota, Himeko, and Date going to look for medication to help Taira, who's basically in a bad way since the venom from those Komodo dragons that he was bit by have not let his wounds heal the correct way. And of course, there is no medicine on this island that hasn't already expired and so forth. But this is where we see the true colors of Date once again. He basically tries to take Ryota into his confidence, and there's this very telling moment after Himeko has let her sort of qualms about this guy being known to Ryota, which I love, by the way. I have to say I am so happy to see that she's actually investing her trust in Sakamoto, letting him know how she feels about this guy because her feelings are dead on. And this rubs off on him to a degree when you have that faux bonding moment that Date walks up to him and says, you hold on to the medication. I want us to be able to trust each other. I heard what you two were talking about, and I'm just like you. I want to be able to put my faith and trust in each other. And we know that he is just a son of a bitch liar. He is completely playing them, and we see just how brutally he is, because not only did he try to take out Himeko in the last episode, which is her surmise, and it ends up being true, but he also tries to take out Sakamoto by implanting one of his bombs in the package with the medication. So you have Himeko screaming to Ryota, and of course that is the cliffhanger, the explosion going off. I believe Ryota probably got away just in the nick of time, because you had that moment of realization when Date puts his hands on Ryota's shoulders and he becomes hyper aware of this ominous presence to do with Date. So I don't think the bomb actually took him out, as much as that cliffhanger tried to ramp up the uncertainty in his putting the package down. I'm sure he threw it down and jumped behind the desk or something, and probably will get out of there just by the skin of his teeth. Now we do see a little bit of a preview for the next episode, which seems to show the nurse nurse lady who helped them out a couple episodes back and was subsequently the one who was basically taken for a fool by Date, it looks like she and Date are going to have some sort of confrontation, and this is going to play into the fact that Date is trying to kill Himeko, it seems like, too. So I'm definitely on the edge of my seat for that. Also, it's going to be very intriguing to see just what happens next with Oda Nobutaka, whether he is going to team up with Ryota and Taira and Himeko, and also his relationship with the chick he's basically partnered up with on the island who, was the one who attacked Himeko and everything. She seems like tough stuff, not somebody to be trifled with either. And then there's, of course, are they going to successfully overpower Date? How is that going to happen? Is this nurse lady maybe going to get her sort of vengeance out on Date for bringing her to this island and screwing her over twice in her life already? And then there's this little kid Kira who now has the explosives that Ryota took from him back in his possession. How big of a threat is this little jerk going to be? Because, of course, we know he is straddling the lines of way beyond psycho and any kind of reproach. So just lots of things to take into consideration. I can't wait for the next episode. And, of course, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below if you are digging it. That's going to be it for me on this one. I really dug it, and I'll catch you later. Peace.